And I don't know if this really counts as news. It's certainly a rumor. We're probably being used. But because it's early February and we have literally nothing else to talk about, we are absolutely going to talk about the Bob Nightingale rumor that came down in USA Today on Sunday, stirring everyone's fantasies with this little nugget. He said several executives think the Philadelphia Phillies could be a sleeper for one of the remaining marquee free agents in starter Jordan Montgomery or center fielder Cody Bellinger. Now, again, this is Bob Nightingale, so let's take that into consideration. And also, let's also take into consideration that folks were talking up the Phillies as being Blake Snell suitors a couple of months ago and Josh Hader suitors a couple of months ago. The Phillies are a big spending team. They haven't done a whole lot. These are Scott Boras clients, so it makes sense that it feels as though the Phillies are being used as leverage right now. Liz, on a scale of 1 to 100, 1 being no belief in this whatsoever, and 100 being absolute belief, how much do you believe this rumor to be true?
There's no negative setting on this, is there? I mean, as much as I would love the Phillies to get them some Cody Bellinger,
it's an informal thermometer. Yeah.
As much as I'd love them to get Cody Bellinger, I'm not quite seeing it. I'm not seeing it in their future.
This tweet is a masterpiece. This tweet is a masterpiece in meaningless off-season treacle. Like, this is just, I mean, every word leading up to the actual players' names is a tangled mess of qualifying nonsense. Like, it's not like the Phillies would need to get word through the press to these two guys that they were interested in them. So probably It's not them. So that immediately makes you think, boy, it sure seems a lot more likely this is somebody's agent looking for leverage or someone with an ulterior motive mentioning the Phillies. Because, again, they're so careful leading up to the Phillies. Let's just break this down. Several executives. What does this mean? This means there are people who wanted this information out there but didn't want you to know who it was coming from. It could be 2 MLB executives. It could be 1 MLB executive and then the same MLB executive throwing his voice. It could be executives from other industries because Nightingale never says several MLB executives are saying this. It could be a player agent who claimed his nickname was several executives and then just gave the information to Bob Nightingale. So
all fair.
Off the bat, I feel like that already calls this into question. Then we move on to the word could. Could. Could means this might be real, might not. Might be true, might not. I qualified it with could, so you can't call me out. No matter what the answer to that question is.
Say anything I want.
Be a sleeper. So best case scenario, the Phillies might be a team that is so fringy that their involvement in this wouldn't have even been noticed unless you were reading Twitter on a Sunday morning in January. So, yeah, I guess to end by saying I actually think it's like a 5% chance because I do want to give them like the Castellanos factor, the deal that no one saw coming and was super thrilling. I want to give them a non-zero chance that this is true. But in general, based on everything I just said, it's tough to take a rumor like this seriously, especially when, correct me if I'm wrong, there really hasn't been anything of a link between the Phillies and either of these guys that was considered serious up to this point.